Hey guys, welcome back to Bombchu. I'm Austin, and today you might be wondering why I'm making a video instead of watching the new season of Stranger Things or playing the new Mario or Wolfenstein. Well, it's almost Halloween and Steam has graced us with a sale, so I figured I'd make a list of my recommendations for Steam games to play to get into the spirit of things. As a general rule, I'll be avoiding games that are simply horror themed but aren't really horror games like Killing Floor or Left 4 Dead. Let's get to it. Here's 10 Steam games to get you into the Halloween spirit. Number 1. I'm Scared. I don't remember how I found I'm Scared, but I definitely remember why I bought it. It was pitched to me as a meta-horror game, a genre that fascinates me. As you play the game, the entity that haunts you throughout will write files to your computer, and some of these are used to progress through the game. This ended up not being used as much as I thought it would be, but I still liked the game. It's styled like an old PlayStation game, with a really low resolution and draw distance. Seeing your immediate surroundings lit up just fine combined with the endless dark just out of reach is unnerving, and each corner you turn is filled with dread. There's no music, so each sound rings out reminding you that you are alone. Sort of. The face is often watching, even if you don't always see it. This game doesn't have too many jump scares, and even having played through the whole thing, I'm still getting uncomfortable chills playing through again to record this footage. It's on sale for $2 right now on Steam, and in my opinion, that is an excellent bargain. Number 2. Lucius. If you're a longtime watcher, you may know that I buy a lot of bundles. Some great ones, and some not so great ones. I got Lucius in a not so great bundle. Everything about it looked like it would be one of those bad games with a great idea, but a horrible execution. Probably tons of bugs, and an awful interface. Still, I make it a point to try all of my games before uninstalling them, even if I'm almost certain I'll hate them. And Lucius is a perfect example as to why. In this game, you play as a little boy who happens to be the spawn of Satan, similar to The Omen. The entire game takes place at your home, with each level locking or unlocking different areas. Each level, you're given a target, and you have to make sure they die. You'll have to find tools and lure people to different spots without being caught doing something suspicious. Levels end up playing out almost like puzzles. For the first half of the game, it played almost like a dark comedy, with most of the targets dying from stupidity and trying to satisfy one of their vices. But at a certain point, it just became dark. Most levels are really interesting, and I feel guilty with how satisfying it was to bring about many of these deaths. This one isn't all that scary since you're the one in control of evil, but the darkness it has makes it a perfect fit for the season. It's currently on sale for $1.50, making it an easy why the hell not pickup. Number 3. Pony Island. What is Pony Island? Is it a Steam game? Yes, but it's also a game within a game. Pony Island is a game that has you using a computer. On this computer you find a game called, you guessed it, Pony Island. It sounds innocent enough, a unicorn jumping over obstacles to reach a flag at the end of each level, but the game doesn't seem to want you to play it, constantly breaking and requiring you to fix its code. Changes start happening, and it becomes clear you really shouldn't have started this game. I don't want to get into specifics, and talking much more about it would reveal too much, but if you like 2D games and logic-based puzzles, this one holds secrets worth finding. It's currently on sale for $1.64. Number 4. Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil has gone in a lot of different directions, and the series has really transformed since it began more than 20 years ago. There's almost always been something to complain about with Resident Evil games, from the campy acting of the original, to co-op essentially stripping the horror out of the game in 5 and 6. And we can't forget that time Chris punched a boulder. But Resident Evil 7 came to turn the series on its head in a way that hadn't been done since we were graced with Resident Evil 4. The most immediately obvious change is the shift to a first-person camera. Before the game launched, I thought it wouldn't really have much effect on gameplay, but boy was I wrong. In older titles, it's clear when you've killed an enemy. Zombies from the original might get up after falling down, but once there's a pool of blood around them, you know they're dead. Here, just about everything in the house has regenerative properties, especially the Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque family that lives there. The head of the family, Jack, will often roam the halls of an area where you need to find something, and if he catches sight of you, you're gonna have a bad time. There are also basic enemies like these mossy humanoids to fight, but as you quickly find out, it can be tough to figure out if they're dead or not. If you walk past one you've defeated, on occasion they'll get back up behind you. Having the camera in first person makes it so that you can't be nearly as aware of your surroundings, so you'll often have to watch your back. Resident Evil 7 is great. It scares me enough to make me uncomfortable to start it up, but progressing is satisfying enough to make me want to play anyways. This one's on sale for $30. Number 5. Lone Survivor. I originally got this game in the humble Indie Bundle 5, which was way back in 2012. It's a 2D pixel horror game from Jasper Byrne, who also made some of the music for the Hotline Miami games. When I first started it up, I figured pixel art can't be that scary, but boy was I wrong. Lighting is used really well, and detail is kept low to let your imagination run wild. Silent Hill is obviously a strong influence both in monster and sound design. Weird things happen, making you wonder if you're playing through a dream or reality at any given point. My main reason for putting this on the list is simply because I was impressed with how much dread I could experience from a side-scroller. Despite being out for over 5 years, the sale price for this game is $7.50, which is a bit steep. It's gone as low as $2.50, so I'd wait for a later sale to see if it dips down lower again. Number 6. Alan Wake and Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Okay, you may have heard that the main game here, Alan Wake, is not actually for sale any longer. And that's true, but hear me out. Let's cover the game first. You play as the titular Alan Wake, a writer suffering from writer's block headed out to the country to clear his head with his wife. You quickly discover that something is off about this town, and a darkness takes over it. Your wife disappears, and the townspeople start attacking you. Equipped with a flashlight, a gun, and a cup of coffee, you have to figure out what's going on. Gameplay is pretty simple, but satisfying. Enemies are things or people infected and shielded by darkness. You shine your flashlight at them to get rid of their shield, making them vulnerable to your gun. You can also focus your flashlight to make it quicker, but this uses power, and if you use too much too quickly, you'll have to change out the batteries. Encounters are fun, and you'll have to stay on your toes between them, as people can literally appear out of nowhere in the darkness. To top it all off, the game has an excellent soundtrack, which is unfortunately what caused the licensing issues that prevent the game from being sold any longer. However, a quick search on the secondhand digital games market shows that you can currently get the game with buyer protection for $4 to $5. I don't normally advocate using sites like King Winner G2A, but when you have no other way to buy the game, I don't see much of a problem with it. To date, despite fans begging for one, there hasn't been a full-fledged sequel to Alan Wake. But there is a small arcade title called Alan Wake's American Nightmare. In it, Alan winds up in an episode of Night Springs, a parody of the Twilight Zone that you can find episodes of throughout the first game. Levels are smaller, encounters are quicker, and the game is much shorter, but it's decent arcadey fun, and it's still sold through official means. Steam currently has it on sale for $2. Number 7. Stories Untold. I recently covered this one in a humble monthly review, but at that point I had only played the first of the 4 episodes included. I have since beaten the game and I love it. The first episode's definitely the strongest, but each episode provides a unique puzzle and experience. I can't really say or show much about this game, other than to tell you that there are some points that are a bit obtuse, and if you get stuck, don't be afraid to look at a guide. It's currently on sale for $3.39. Number 8. Dead Space and Dead Space 2. Ah, Visceral Games, we hardly knew ye. It's really awesome to see people look back fondly at Dead Space despite some of the crummy spin-offs, and the very misguided and obviously tampered with Dead Space 3. At least we still have the first 2 games to go back and revisit. Dead Space puts you in the shoes of an engineer named Isaac. While checking out a distress signal from a large spaceship, things of course go wrong, and it turns out everyone on the ship has been transformed into monsters. Also, your ship isn't working, so you need to find a different way to escape. You're equipped with your spacesuit and a plasma cutter, and you'll have to find more ammo, weapons, and upgrades along the way. This is an excellent blending of action and horror. You don't have plenty of resources to where you can unload a full clip into one enemy and feel okay about it, but you also don't have so little that you feel uncomfortable killing enemies at all. Individual enemies don't take a lot to deal with, but they can sneak up on you or swarm you. The game has some beautiful artwork, and this goes unblemished by the absence of a HUD. Your life bar is represented by lights on your suit going up your spine. Ammo counts are displayed by the guns as you use them. and your inventory is managed by a holographic display from your wrist. Oh yes, it's all in-game, which means there's no real pause button. You can be attacked while you're messing with your inventory, leaving you constantly questioning if you're ever really safe. Dead Space 2 continues the story with the same great core gameplay, and though I didn't find myself as scared playing the second one, it's still a great game and worth playing if you like the first. Both of these are on sale for $5 each. Number 9. Aversion. Why is this on the list? It's just a cute platformer, right? Right. And if you like platformers, just go play this game. Don't look up other stuff, just go enjoy. I won't be saying anything else, I just wanted to bring this game to your attention. It's currently on sale for $1.69. Number 10. Dead by Daylight. Hey, that's a multiplayer game. It can't be that scary. Wrong. I've played this game with my wife and friends, and whether one of them is playing the killer, or a stranger's playing the killer, we've all screamed louder than we have playing any single-player horror game. This is a brilliantly designed asymmetric multiplayer game, with 4 people playing as survivors and 1 person playing as a killer. The goal of the survivors is to turn on 5 generators, power on an exit door, and escape. Generators take a while to fix, and you'll have to perform skill checks while you fix them. Fail the skill check and you'll lose progress and make a bunch of noise, alerting the killer to your position. As the killer, you have to sacrifice the survivors. You do this by knocking them out and carrying them to a hook. If they spend too much time on the hook without being rescued by their teammates, they die and are sacrificed. The game is surprisingly well balanced, with lots of small but important details that keep things generally fair. Survivors can hear a heartbeat that gets stronger as the killer gets closer. They can also see in third person and look all around them when hiding or working on something, making it easier to see the killer coming. The killer sees in first person with a limited field of view, and many actions will make you face the ground, making it easy to lose sight of survivors, especially around corners. Killers are almost always faster than, or at least as fast as survivors, and gain speed over time during chases due to bloodlust. Survivors have to try and confuse the killer or run through obstacles to stun or slow the killer. Bleeding and running both leave trails that killers can try to follow, and there are just a ton of little details that make everything work really well together. Freddy from A Nightmare on Elm Street just got added, but I haven't had enough time with him to know how I really feel about him. My favorite killer here is Michael Myers. He levels up his power throughout the match by stalking his victims, watching them from the shadows. It was truly terrifying to be working on a generator, looking around, and suddenly seeing him standing still, watching me from afar. This one's on sale for $10, and if you can convince some friends to get it, it is a total blast. There are some great horror games out there that I missed here, but this was just a list of 10 of my favorites. What are some of your favorite horror games to play this time of year? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.